Beloved chosen one, heaven has paused the noise of the world for this exact moment. Every sound around you fades because this is divine interruption, not coincidence. You are not scrolling by chance. This message has been written in eternity and delivered on time. Listen carefully, God is calling your name through the winds of destiny. You have been wandering, waiting, wondering if your prayers have reached beyond the ceiling. And now, heaven answers back, yes. I hear you. You have felt it for a while now, something stirring inside you that words can't describe. The world calls it intuition, but it is more than that. It is divine recognition. Heaven recognizes its own. You are part of a remnant chosen not for comfort, but for purpose. You have walked through fires meant to consume others, yet you still stand. The bruises you carry are not signs of defeat. They are proof that hell's assignments failed. You survived what was designed to destroy you, and that survival is not random. It is your divine signature. Listen closely, this is not just motivation. This is revelation. The Spirit of God has been whispering through delays, detours, and disappointments. Every closed door was divine protection. Every unanswered prayer was divine redirection. You were being hidden, not forgotten. There are seasons when God conceals His chosen ones so that the enemy cannot corrupt what heaven intends to crown. That's where you've been in holy hiding. You've asked, why me? Why the battles? Why the silence? But chosen ones are not built in comfort, they are forged in fire. The pressure you've endured was never punishment, it was promotion in disguise. You've been prepared for a time when the world would need your voice, your faith, your resilience. And that time is now. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. These words are not ancient poetry, they are your personal prophecy. Heaven has been scripting your story long before you were even aware of the plot. Every delay has meaning, every detour direction. You have been walking through divine choreography, guided by hands unseen. The pain you felt was not wasted, it was preparation for a glory that will silence every doubt. Listen, chosen one, this is the part where heaven demands your response. When revelation arrives, silence is disobedience. Type your declaration of faith below as a prophetic act. Write 777 in the comments, for 7 is the number of completion. And this message marks the completion of your waiting season. Declare it boldly. My waiting ends here. My wings are ready. Now breathe. Heaven has entered your space. You don't need proof. The confirmation is the peace you feel right now. The shaking you sense in your spirit is not fear, it is alignment. God is aligning you with your next chapter. And every delay that frustrated you was actually His hand positioning you for acceleration. The heavens have seen your tears, and none were wasted. Each drop was a seed, and now harvest time has arrived. You will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. Those who doubted you will witness the rising of one they could not destroy. Your testimony will not be whispered, it will be thundered. Do not doubt this interruption. It is not coincidence that your eyes met these words. Heaven orchestrated this encounter. You are marked for something beyond human comprehension. The same Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead is stirring inside you now, calling you higher. You were never meant to blend in. You were created to stand out as a divine example of endurance, faith, and light. So lift your head, straighten your shoulders. Heaven watches as you take your first step into destiny. You've survived the valley. Now it's time to claim the mountain. The King is calling His warrior forth. You are chosen, set apart, and anointed for impact. The world is about to witness what happens when a chosen one says yes to divine assignment. Now act, like, share, and subscribe not for vanity, but as a prophetic declaration that you accept your calling. Let it be your public amen. This is not a video, it is a visitation. When you engage, you agree with heaven's timing. You seal your alignment. The message has arrived, and you have opened it. The interruption is over, but the awakening has just begun. Comment 711 below if you feel this word stirring inside you right now. Heaven is watching who responds. You have always known somewhere deep within that you were different. From your earliest memories, something in you did not fit the patterns of ordinary life. You noticed things others ignored. You felt things others brushed away. You saw meaning in moments that seemed random to everyone else. This is not sensitivity, it is sight. The hidden mark upon you has always been there, written not in ink, but in spirit. Heaven carved it into your essence before your first breath. This is why you have never blended in easily. Even when you tried to fit the molds the world offered, something resisted. There was a divine imprint that could not be erased by time, circumstance, or rejection. You were born with the signature of heaven resting upon your soul. And though people have mistaken your depth for weakness, heaven recognizes it as the seal of calling. Many have misread you because they could not discern you. They saw your kindness and called it naivety. They saw your silence and called it insecurity. But God saw your restraint and called it wisdom. You have been misunderstood not because you are flawed, but because you are marked. Your light exposes what others would rather keep hidden. You do not just enter rooms, you shift atmospheres. That is the nature of the chosen wherever you go. The spiritual climate reacts. You have questioned why certain people seem drawn to you at first, but later turned against you. It is because they felt the weight of your anointing before they understood it. The mark upon you unsettles those who live in darkness. Demons recognize divine fingerprints. Before you ever proclaimed your calling, hell already knew your name. That is why you faced so many battles even before your breakthrough began. You are not being punished. You are being proven in quiet moments. When you've looked back on your life and seen patterns repeating, doors closing right before success, relationships ending when they seemed most promising, you've wondered if you were cursed. But heaven whispers now, you were not cursed, you were consecrated. The delay was divine insulation. God has been preserving you from connections that would have diluted your purpose. You were never meant to be common. You were meant to be consecrated for something extraordinary. As the apostle reminds us in his letter to the Ephesians. Ephesians chapter 1, verse 4. For he chose us in him before the creation of the world to be holy and blameless in his sight. Let those words settle into your bones. Before time itself began, before galaxies were spoken into existence, you were already known. You were chosen in him, by him, and for him. The mark upon you is the evidence of eternal intention. Your existence is not a reaction, it is a revelation. Heaven does not improvise, it orchestrates. You are not the result of coincidence, but of covenant. Every struggle you have faced is part of a pattern designed to awaken remembrance. The enemy has fought you hardest in the areas of your greatest purpose. The confusion you've battled is not because you are lost, but because you are near the place of recognition. The mark on you has been glowing brighter with each season of resistance. What once drew attacks will soon draw divine attention. The hidden mark is your identity in the spirit realm. When angels look at you, they see the seal of the King. When darkness looks at you, it sees a forbidden target. You walk in two worlds at once, visible in the natural, recognized in the supernatural. This is why your path has always been narrow, your circle small, and your journey sacred. God keeps his marked ones close because the world cannot carry their weight. You have longed for belonging, yet the truth is you were never meant to fully belong here. The mark sets you apart. That loneliness you've carried is not rejection, it's preparation. You were not made to blend into the noise of this generation. You were created to echo the sound of heaven in a world that has forgotten how to listen. Soon, you will understand that the mark is not a burden but a badge. What once made you question your worth will become the very proof of your divine assignment. The rejection you faced was redirection toward revelation. The things that did not work out were never meant to. They were misaligned with your anointing. You will come to see that even your pain had purpose. Every betrayal refined your discernment. Every delay trained your patience. Every loss positioned your heart for purity. You are being sculpted by unseen hands for a task that only a marked soul can carry. Heaven does not mark what it does not intend to manifest. So do not envy the unmarked. They may walk smoother paths, but their roads lead nowhere eternal. You walk with purpose, and though the way is narrow, it is crowned with glory. The mark upon you glows brighter in the dark, and that is why the night cannot hold you forever. Dawn is near. Keep walking, chosen one. The world will not always understand you, but heaven always will. There are memories that still ache when you think of them. Times when you gave your all and it still wasn't enough. People you trusted who turned their backs without warning. Nights when your pillow caught tears no one else would ever see. You've carried pain like a secret weight, smiling on the outside while bleeding on the inside. But hear this now, none of it has been wasted. Heaven saw every moment. God has been collecting each tear like drops of holy oil, preparing to anoint you with what was meant to destroy you. The weight you've been carrying has never been punishment, it has been preparation. You were not being buried, you were being planted. When the soil covered the seed, the world thought you were finished, but heaven called it the beginning. The breaking you went through was the sound of purpose cracking open. You had to lose some things to gain your true self. There were days when you begged for answers, when silence felt like cruelty. But silence is often God's language when He is building your strength. He does not answer every question, He anchors your faith. And though you could not see it, He was working behind the curtain of your pain, shaping a masterpiece from what you thought were mistakes. Every disappointment was a divine appointment in disguise. Every delay was designed to pull out of you the resilience only pain could teach. You learned to pray not for escape, but for endurance. You learned that faith is not about feeling, but about standing. You discovered that the same God who allowed the storm also gave you the ability to walk on its waves. You see, chosen one, the pressure has been producing something holy inside of you. The crushing made oil. The breaking made beauty. The pain gave birth to purpose. You thought you were losing yourself, but in truth, you were finding the version of you heaven had seen all along, as the writings of David remind us in the Psalms. Psalms, chapter 34, verse 18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Those words are not simply comfort, they are confirmation. God has been closer to you in your pain than at any other time. When you cried alone, He was there. When you thought no one cared, He held your heart in His unseen hands. The reason you did not fall apart completely is because divine strength was carrying you through what flesh could not survive. Even the heaviness you feel now is not the end. It is the sign that something inside you is about to be released. Pain has an expiration date, and the moment you begin to understand that suffering does not define you but refines you, you become unstoppable. Your scars are not symbols of defeat, they are proof that grace triumphed. Every chosen one must walk through this valley. It is here that the mask is stripped away, where performance dies and authenticity is born. This is the sacred ground of transformation, where what once felt like a curse becomes your crown. Now pause and breathe. You've carried so much for so long that you've forgotten what it feels like to rest. But rest is not giving up. It is trusting that God is still working when you are not. You are not behind. You are being aligned. Every broken piece of your story is being reassembled into something powerful enough to heal others. This is why your battles have been so fierce. The enemy only fights what threatens him. If you were insignificant, your struggles would be small. But the very weight of your warfare is proof of your worth. Heaven has invested too much in you for the enemy to win. Now, chosen one, as you read these words, something in your spirit already knows this is true. You feel the echo deep inside, the confirmation that all this time, you were being built, not broken. You were being called higher, even through tears. And here is your moment to respond. Don't let this revelation pass you by. Make a simple declaration below, just write, "I rise again." Those 3 words are not ordinary, they are prophetic. When you write them, you are agreeing with heaven that your season of carrying ends here, and your season of rising begins. Write it boldly, not as a comment, but as a covenant. Each letter declares that what once weighed you down will now lift you up. You are stepping out of the shadows of sorrow and into the light of destiny. Heaven has waited for this moment, your moment of recognition, of release, of resurrection, of your pain was real, but so is your purpose. Your tears were valid, but so is your triumph. You are not the broken one, you are the becoming one. And soon, the same hands that allowed the weight will place the crown. Comment, "I rise again." Heaven will hear it as your amen. Long before you understood what calling meant, darkness already knew. It saw your light before you even knew you carried it. That's why the battles came so early. Why the rejection started so young. Why you've often felt like you were at war with something unseen. The attacks weren't random, they were recognition. Hell does not waste energy on the ordinary. It fights the chosen. The enemy saw the mark of destiny upon you and tried to silence it before it ever spoke. You remember those moments, don't you, times when you couldn't explain the weight pressing against your chest, or why certain people turned cold without reason. Those weren't coincidences, they were reactions. Your light disrupted the shadows that had grown comfortable around you. Even as a child, you carried a frequency that made darkness tremble. You've always been light in motion, even when you didn't understand your own glow. There were times you wondered why your kindness was met with betrayal, or why people who claimed to love you seemed to push you away when you needed them most. It wasn't personal, it was spiritual. Darkness always recognizes what threatens its hold. You were never fighting people. You were wrestling with principalities that saw what was coming. The closer you got to your calling, the louder the opposition became. But here's the truth that heaven wants you to grasp. You are not under attack because you are weak. You are under attack because you are anointed. The enemy tries to weary the warriors before they realize their own strength. Yet even in your lowest moments, you never truly broke. You bent, you bled, you wept, but you did not break. That's because something divine within you refused to surrender. There were nights when despair whispered, "You can't go on," but your spirit answered, "Watch me." Every time you rose again, Darkness shuddered. It couldn't understand how you kept coming back stronger, wiser, and purer. That's the mystery of the chosen. Your endurance is not your own. Heaven breathes through your resilience. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Those words are not history. They are your current reality. God has been fighting for you in battles you didn't even know existed. While you were crying, He was conquering. While you were doubting, He was defending. There are victories unfolding right now that your eyes have yet to see. The enemy thought he could wear you down, but all he's done is make your faith unbreakable. You have felt invisible at times, but invisibility is often God's shield. He hid you in plain sight so that premature exposure wouldn't destroy your purpose. He's been guarding you like a secret weapon, saving your unveiling for a divine moment when the world will need the exact light you carry. You are a living contradiction to the plans of darkness. You should have been crushed, but you're still standing. You should have lost your faith, but somehow it grew stronger. You should have quit, but something deep within refused to die. That something is your divine core, the spark that even the deepest darkness cannot extinguish. So, do not curse your warfare. Chosen one, it is proof of your worth. The enemy fights hardest where the glory is greatest. Every setback you faced was a rehearsal for your comeback. Every betrayal only refined your discernment. You now see through deception, and that vision is one of your greatest weapons. The truth is, the darkness recognized you before you recognized yourself. It attacked to keep you from awakening, to make you doubt the power within. But now, the very thing that once intimidated you has become terrified of your awakening. You are no longer reacting, you are rising. You are stepping into awareness, wielding light that cannot be dimmed, carrying authority that cannot be denied. Soon those who doubted you will witness what darkness feared, the unveiling of one who refused to bow. You have emerged from spiritual warfare with new eyes, new strength, and new fire. The battles that once broke you have become the blueprint of your boldness. The scars you carry are not reminders of defeat, they are declarations of victory. Do you feel it now, that subtle shift in your soul? It's recognition, heaven's confirmation that the war over your identity is ending. You no longer need to prove who you are. You simply need to walk in it. The darkness that once stalked you now retreats, because light has remembered itself. The time for fear is over. You are no longer the one being hunted, you are the one being revealed. There are moments when the world grows loud, so loud that it drowns out the whisper of heaven. You scroll, you search, you fill the silence with noise, yet something inside you still aches for the voice that calms storms. That voice has never left you. It's been speaking between the lines, through dreams, through sudden thoughts, through those quiet tugs on your heart that you often dismiss as coincidence. But coincidence is the language of the unawakened. What you are experiencing is divine direction. You see, heaven rarely shouts. It often whispers. God does not compete with chaos, He waits for stillness. And when your heart finally quiets, His voice becomes unmistakable. It isn't always thunder, it's the gentle pull, the sudden peace, the urge to pause. When everything around you says hurry, His Spirit says listen. You have been guided more times than you realize. Every detour that frustrated you was divine navigation. Every delay was a message in disguise, steering you toward the path of purpose. Think back on those times when things didn't go as planned. You were disappointed, maybe even angry. But what if those closed doors were God's way of saving you from lesser versions of yourself? What if every no was heaven protecting your destiny from premature exposure? Sometimes mercy looks like rejection. Sometimes grace looks like a dead end. Yet in every apparent loss, heaven was whispering, "Trust me. I see what you cannot." We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 32, verse 8, "I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you." That verse is a promise, not poetry. It means you've never walked alone, not once. Even in confusion, there was counsel. Even in silence, there was guidance. You've been led by eyes that see the entire story, not just the chapter you're in. There were moments when you wanted a sign, something tangible, maybe a voice from the sky, maybe a miracle so obvious you couldn't miss it. But sometimes, the sign isn't in the sky. It's in the stirring of your spirit. It's the peace that doesn't make sense. It's the sudden knowing that you can't explain. That's heaven's fingerprint. Beloved chosen one, imagine your journey as a lighthouse standing against stormy seas. The waves crash, the winds roar, yet the light keeps shining, guiding ships through the dark. That light is you. But every lighthouse must be maintained, the flame kept alive, the lens cleaned, the foundation strengthened. When you support what brings you closer to divine truth, whether by sharing, giving, or speaking life into others, you are adding oil to your own lamp. This message you hear is not just words, it's a vessel, a lighthouse in digital form. And just as sailors once kept the flame burning so others could find their way home, your engagement keeps this light shining for someone who needs it most. If these words have stirred something sacred in you, let your response be an act of gratitude, like this message not for vanity, but as a sign to heaven that you hear and receive. Share it not to gain attention, but to spread the same comfort that just found you. Subscribe and stay connected, because your spirit recognizes where it is being fed. And if you ever feel led to give, to pour back into the source that's pouring into you, consider it a sacred exchange. You are not paying, you are planting. You are fueling the flame so that another weary soul can find their way home. Every act of support, whether large or small, is seen by heaven. You are partnering with light, keeping truth alive in a world that has grown dim. Just as rivers must flow to stay alive, giving and receiving are both forms of divine circulation. The hand that opens to give never runs dry. Your presence here is not casual, it's covenant. The same spirit that drew you to this message is weaving something deeper. The whisper of heaven is not just calling you to listen, it's inviting you to participate. So tonight, when the noise fades and the world goes quiet again, remember that voice, the one that spoke softly but clearly, "I am still guiding you." And know that by standing with this message, by sharing, subscribing, or even sowing into it, you are helping the whisper of heaven reach countless others still lost in the storm. Be the keeper of the flame. Keep the lighthouse burning. Somewhere, someone is sailing through darkness, and your light might be the one that guides them safely home. There comes a sacred moment in every chosen one's life when something deep within begins to awaken. It's not loud. It doesn't announce itself with fanfare. It begins as a gentle stirring, a shift in the unseen. A realization that the old version of you can no longer survive where destiny is calling you. That's what's happening right now. You're not losing yourself, you're remembering yourself. For years, you've been walking with fragments, pieces of who you truly are, scattered by pain, fear, and disappointment. You tried to fit into spaces that could never contain you. You watered down your light to keep others comfortable. But your spirit has grown restless, whispering, "There must be more than this." That whisper isn't discontent, it's divine remembrance. Your soul is waking up to the reason it was sent here. There's a quickening happening. You can feel it even if you can't describe it. The world around you might look the same, but the atmosphere inside you has changed. What once satisfied you no longer does. What once distracted you now drains you. You are shifting from survival to purpose. This is the moment heaven had in mind when it whispered your name into existence. You've been through enough to know that this awakening didn't come cheap. You've endured seasons where you were stripped bare, where everything comfortable was removed. You've watched friendships fade, doors close, and paths disappear beneath your feet. But what you lost was never meant to stay. It was weight that could not travel into your next dimension. The Spirit spoke through the Apostle Paul in Romans chapter 12 to know. Verse 2. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, His good, pleasing, and perfect will. That verse is more than instruction, it's invitation. Transformation begins with renewal, and renewal begins with remembrance. You are being reintroduced to the original you, the one heaven designed before pain rewrote your story. The awakening is not about becoming someone new. It's about returning to the purity of who you've always been in God's eyes. As you awaken, you'll notice a separation. The things and people that once had power over you will start to lose their grip. It's not pride, it's preservation. The higher your calling, the more selective your spirit becomes. You cannot carry everyone into this next chapter, and that's okay. The awakening often feels like loneliness, but it's actually alignment. Heaven is removing distractions so that you can finally hear clearly. There will be moments when the awakening feels heavy, when you realize that what used to feel like home no longer does. But understand this: when God awakens you, He also equips you. You won't need to chase what's meant for you. It will begin to recognize your frequency and find you. The doors that were once locked will start to open because your vibration has changed. You are no longer moving as a wounded soul, you are rising as a healed vessel. Chosen one. This is the season when obedience and awareness will become your superpowers. The more you listen, the louder heaven will speak. You'll begin to notice patterns, synchronicities, divine timing that no longer feels random. Your life will unfold like a scroll written long ago. This is the beauty of spiritual awakening. It turns chaos into clarity. It's no coincidence that you're reading this now. You didn't stumble here by chance. Heaven planned this encounter because your time of sleeping is over. You are being called to awaken, to rise, to remember. You are stepping into your assignment, the reason your soul agreed to come into this lifetime. You may still feel uncertain. That's all right. Awakening is not about knowing every step, it's about trusting the voice that leads. Even if you can't see the full picture, take the next step in faith. Each obedient move reveals the next. Right now, heaven is watching for your response. Not because it needs validation, but because your declaration activates movement in the spirit realm. Let this moment become your marker. Write 444 in the comments below. 4, the number of stability and foundation. It signifies that God is establishing something permanent in your life. When you type 444, you're not just writing numbers, you're building an altar of remembrance. You're declaring, I am awake. I am aligned. I am ready. Heaven sees it. Angels record it. And as you release it, the spiritual ground beneath you begins to shift. This is your confirmation you are no longer who you were. The veil has lifted. The fire within has been reignited. Every part of you that was dormant is awakening. You are no longer waiting for change, you are becoming it. Comment 444 below. Let heaven see your agreement and mark the moment your awakening became undeniable. Pain has always been your greatest teacher, even when you didn't recognize its lessons. You have walked through valleys that others would have avoided, carrying loads that seemed far too heavy for one heart to bear. Yet here you are, still breathing, still standing, still chosen. The world may have seen only your tears, but heaven saw your training. Every wound, every disappointment, every lonely night was sharpening your spirit for something extraordinary. You did not go through what you went through by mistake. You were placed in the fire because gold must be refined before it can shine. The weight you've carried was not punishment. It was divine resistance training. Just as a seed must press through dirt to reach the light, you have been pressing through pressure to reach your destiny. God has been forming strength in you that ease could never produce. There were seasons when you cried out, asking, "Why me?" But if you look closely, you'll see that each heartbreak became a chapter in your testimony. Each loss peeled away another layer of pride, fear, or dependency that could not enter your next level. What you called breaking was actually becoming. You were being shaped into someone who could carry the glory without collapsing under it. In the stillness of your suffering, heaven has been crafting something sacred. The silence that felt like abandonment was actually the sound of divine construction. The moments you thought were endings were blueprints for your beginning. You learned to fight not with your fists, but with your faith. You discovered that worship could become a weapon, that prayer could become armor, and that patience was not weakness but power restrained by wisdom. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 2. Remember how the Lord your God led you all the way in the wilderness these 40 years to humble and test you in order to know what was in your heart. Those words are not ancient, they are personal. The wilderness you walked through was designed to reveal your heart and strengthen it. God already knew what was inside you. The wilderness was to show you what you carried. Through every setback and silence, your capacity grew. You learned endurance. You learned humility. You learned to trust God when nothing made sense. The training ground of pain is sacred because it teaches what comfort never could. It teaches compassion, the kind that only comes from knowing how it feels to be crushed and still keep loving. It teaches discernment, the ability to see beyond words and into spirit. And it teaches courage, the kind that stands firm even when trembling. These are not weaknesses. They are marks of maturity. The pain you endured has qualified you for influence. You will speak words that heal because you understand wounds. You will carry authority in places where others carry fear because you have learned how to walk with God in the dark. When others complain about the storm, you will say, "I've met him there." You now know his presence is not limited to mountaintops. It fills the valleys too. Do not despise your training ground. Warriors are not crowned in comfort, they are crowned after combat. What you have endured has made you unshakable. The next time the winds of adversity blow, you will not crumble. You will recognize them as familiar winds you've already survived. Pain has taught you how to bend without breaking, how to bleed without bitterness, and how to rise without resentment. Soon, you will look back and realize that your trials were actually trust tests. God allowed them not to expose your weakness, but to reveal your strength. The pain that once made you question his plan will one day make you thank him for his wisdom. What you thought would destroy you has only deepened your roots. Chosen one, you are the product of divine pressure. Every scar is sacred ink on the pages of your destiny. You have graduated from the school of pain, and now heaven calls you ready. Ready to carry what others could not. Ready to lead. Ready to heal. Ready to stand. The furnace did not burn you, it branded you with purpose. The training ground is over. The warrior has emerged. There is a realm beyond what the eyes can see, and whether you realize it or not, you have been standing between two worlds your entire life. You have felt it, the invisible tension between peace and pressure, between faith and fear, between destiny and distraction. What you've been sensing is not confusion, it is the clash of kingdoms. Light and darkness have been waging war over the territory of your soul. For wherever you stand, there is power at stake. You have always been more than flesh and bone. You are spirit wrapped in skin, eternity hidden in time. That is why ordinary life has never satisfied you. You were designed to perceive what others ignore. You are sensitive to spiritual currents because you were built to discern them. Every battle you fought wasn't just emotional or circumstantial, it was spiritual. You were never fighting people. You were confronting powers. You are a soldier in a war that began long before your birth, yet your very existence is part of heaven's counterattack. You see, the darkness recognized you before you even knew your name. It saw the light of your calling flicker before you could speak. That's why the warfare has always felt personal. It was. Hell doesn't attack what it doesn't fear. Every storm that tried to destroy you was an attempt to silence a voice heaven intends to use. But what the enemy forgot is that those who are forged in battle become unbreakable. There were nights when you felt surrounded, when fear crawled close, whispering that you wouldn't make it. But even then, heaven was closer. You were not abandoned. You were armed. What you thought were scars were actually sigils of strength, carved into your spirit as evidence of victory. Every time you stood up again, light gained ground. You became a walking declaration that darkness cannot win. As the prophet Elijah spoke as recorded in the first book of Kings, chapter 18, verse 21. How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. That question still echoes today, not as condemnation, but as a call to clarity. The battle between light and darkness intensifies when the chosen hesitate. You've stood between two opinions before, between surrender and resistance, between the comfort of the familiar and the risk of obedience. But this is the season where hesitation must die. You can no longer live half awake, half committed. The kingdom of heaven is demanding your full allegiance. Every battle you've faced has been training you to recognize spiritual patterns, the whispers, the temptations, the cycles that try to pull you backward. Awareness is your greatest weapon. When you see the strategy of the enemy, you strip it of its power. And now, you do. You see how distractions appear right before breakthroughs, how weariness comes right before revelation, how fear always follows divine instruction. You are learning the language of warfare, and in learning it, you are mastering it. The clash of kingdoms is not only around you, it is within you. There is a daily tug of war between the old self and the renewed spirit, between habit and holiness, between reaction and revelation. Yet each time you choose light, heaven expands its territory within you. You become a living battlefield where victory is declared every time you choose peace over panic, prayer over pride, forgiveness over fury. Do not fear the fight anymore. Fear is a lie meant to convince you that darkness still holds authority. It doesn't. You've already won more battles than you've lost. The very fact that you're still standing is proof that the light within you cannot be extinguished. Every scar on your soul is a trophy of survival. You are not a casualty, you are a conqueror in progress. There will be more battles ahead, yes, but they will not break you. They will reveal you. For the chosen, warfare is not punishment, it is promotion. It means you have become too powerful to ignore. You've become a threat to every chain that tried to bind you. Remember this even when you can't see what's happening. Heaven is fighting alongside you. Angels have been dispatched on your behalf. The unseen armies of light stand guard when you sleep. You are never outnumbered, never unarmed, never alone. So walk boldly, chosen one. The clash of kingdoms may rage around you, but the victory has already been written within you. The light you carry is not fragile, it's fire, and fire does not fear the dark. There comes a moment in every chosen one's journey when the waiting must end, and the walking must begin. You've been sensing it, a pull, a call, a holy unrest. Heaven has been whispering, it's time. Not time to talk about it, not time to dream about it, time to move. For too long, you have stood at the edge of your promise, replaying fears like old songs. But now the Spirit says, step forward. The hesitation you feel isn't weakness, it's the residue of your last battle. You've grown cautious because you've known disappointment. You've learned to test the ground before you plant your feet. Yet, faith is not found in certainty, it is forged in obedience. God doesn't wait for you to feel ready. He calls you when He knows you are equipped. And right now, whether you believe it or not, you are ready. You've been trained in the quiet. You've been strengthened in the secret place. The world may not see the preparation, but heaven has been watching every step. What looked like delay was actually development. You are not stepping out empty. You are stepping out armed with everything pain taught you. It's no longer about waiting for a sign. It's about becoming one. You are the evidence that God still raises warriors from wounds, prophets from pain, and leaders from loneliness. The call upon you is not random, it's rooted in eternity. You are heaven's response to a world drowning in confusion. As Jesus Himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, you are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Those words are not a compliment, they are a commission. You have been called to stand, to shine, to speak. There is no more room for shrinking back. The world has enough voices of fear. Heaven is raising voices of faith. Yours is one of them. You've stayed quiet to keep the peace. But silence can become disobedience when heaven has given you something to say. This is your moment to step forward in truth, not arrogance, not pride, but authority. The kind of authority that flows from surrender. You are not stepping out to prove yourself. You are stepping out to reveal what God has already placed within you. Yes, the road ahead will still test you. The enemy does not retreat without resistance. But you've been through too much to stop now. The same God who brought you out will guide you through. Every giant before you is only confirmation that you are entering a promised land worth fighting for. You have already survived what was meant to stop you. Now it's time to thrive in what was meant for you. There's no more turning back to the safety of the familiar. The comfort zone is a coffin where purpose slowly dies. You were never designed to stay there. Your wings were meant for wind, not walls. It's time to move, not because you feel fearless, but because you've learned that fear no longer deserves your permission. The enemy's greatest weapon is hesitation. If he can keep you doubting, he can keep you dormant. But heaven is calling you to defy that fear and step into motion. Faith only functions when it moves. So this is your divine activation, right here, right now. The moment you stop analyzing and start obeying, the moment your feet align with your calling, the moment your actions echo what your spirit has been hearing all along. Go forward, and to mark that moment, write "I step forward" in the comments below. Just 3 words, but powerful words. They are not typed out of emotion, they are typed as covenant. Every letter is a declaration to heaven and a warning to hell. The waiting season is over. When you write "I step forward," you are not just agreeing with this message, you are agreeing with your mission. You are saying, no more fear, no more delay, no more hiding. You are prophesying movement into your own life. Angels respond to declaration. Heaven records decision. And this is the one that shifts your story. Step forward, chosen one. The next chapter won't write itself until your feet touch the page. The path will appear under your steps. The light will expand as you walk. This is your time. Comment, I step forward. Let heaven see your obedience and the earth witness your rise. The journey has not been easy. Chosen one. You have walked through valleys of silence and climbed mountains of resistance. You've tasted both the sweetness of revelation and the bitterness of waiting. Yet through it all, something has been forming inside you, a crown, invisible but real. Every trial has been shaping its edges, every tear polishing its gold. The time of testing is drawing to a close, and the time of crowning approaches. You've wondered, when will the reward come? You've looked around and seen others rise while you still wrestle with uncertainty. But heaven's timeline is not delayed, it's deliberate. Crowns are not made in haste, they are forged under fire. You've been in a refining process, not because God forgot you, but because He has been preparing you for something that must last. What you carry cannot be rushed, it must be rooted. Think of the butterfly in the cocoon. To an untrained eye, it seems trapped, still unproductive. But inside that confinement, transformation is taking place. The struggle of emergence is what strengthens the wings. If someone were to cut the cocoon early to make the butterfly's escape easier, its wings would never develop the power to fly. That is why God didn't make your journey easy. He made it effective. Every hardship has been a stretch preparing your wings for elevation. The Apostle Paul wrote in 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 8, "Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day, and not only to me, but also to all who have longed for His appearing." This is not a promise reserved for one man. It is an inheritance for all who have endured, including you. The crown of righteousness is not merely a future reward. It is a present transformation. You are wearing it already, though unseen by others. It's the quiet confidence that grew where insecurity once lived. It's the peace that replaced panic. It's the grace that rests on your spirit even after battles that should have broken you. And now, as your spirit stands on the edge of fulfillment, heaven prepares to lift the veil. You will not rise by effort alone, but by grace. You will not climb by striving, but by surrender. The weight of the past is falling away, and the radiance of your crown begins to shimmer. The world will soon see outwardly what heaven has already seen inwardly. But remember, even a crown needs caretakers. Every light requires fuel, every vessel needs oil. This message you're hearing, this voice reaching into your soul, is part of that fuel. It exists to keep your flame alive, to remind you who you are when life tries to make you forget. And just as oil lamps in ancient temples were kept burning by faithful hands, this light remains because hearts like yours keep it alive. When you like, when you share, when you subscribe, you're not performing a gesture of convenience, you're tending the flame. You're ensuring that others lost in their night can find their way home to hope. Each act of support becomes a spark that travels farther than you can imagine, lighting paths for souls who have forgotten their own glow. And if your heart ever feels stirred to give, to pour into the same well that has refreshed you, know that such giving is sacred. It is not charity, it's reciprocity. The same way rivers feed oceans and clouds return the rain, what you release into light finds its way back multiplied. When you sow into purpose, you're partnering with heaven's economy. where nothing given in love is ever lost. You might think your small act doesn't matter, but in the hands of God, even crumbs can feed multitudes. What you share today may be the exact message that saves someone tomorrow. What you give might sustain the very voice that one day speaks healing over your own storm. Chosen one, never underestimate the ripple of one faithful act. Your engagement is more than digital, it's spiritual. You are not just watching this message, you are becoming part of its mission. Together, we are keeping the beacon burning, ensuring that the voice of truth, hope, and divine purpose continues to reach those still wandering in the dark. So, if this word has met you where you are, if it has lifted your spirit or reignited your faith, let that gratitude flow into action. Like to affirm your agreement. Share to extend the light. Subscribe to stay connected to this river of revelation. And if you feel led to give, do it as worship, not duty. You are fueling the same fire that has warmed your own heart. The crown awaits, chosen one. Not just for you, but for every soul your light will touch because you chose to keep the flame alive. In every story of destiny, there comes a moment when the voice of the accuser rises. The same enemy who once tried to destroy you now changes tactics. He tries to deceive you. No longer able to stop your progress, he aims to poison your confidence. He whispers in the quiet moments when you are alone, sowing seeds of doubt you're not worthy. You've made too many mistakes. You're not truly chosen. The enemy's words are subtle, woven into your thoughts, disguised as your own reasoning. He knows he cannot steal what God has given you, so he tries to make you give it up willingly. His strategy is ancient: to accuse, to confuse, to make you question the very grace that has carried you this far. But you must remember, lies lose their power when truth is spoken aloud. You are not the sum of your failures. You are the product of forgiveness. Every time the enemy reminds you of your past, remind him of his future. He speaks from defeat, not authority. The same God who called you from darkness is still writing your story in light. Nothing you have done disqualifies you from divine purpose. It only deepens your understanding of mercy. You have felt those attacks before, those thoughts that come like storms, telling you you're not enough, that you missed your moment, that you are unfit to lead or love again. But if you listen closely, you will notice something. Those thoughts always come right before promotion. The closer you get to breakthrough, the louder the accusations grow. The enemy senses elevation and panics. The roar you hear is the sound of fear from him, not you. The ancient words recorded in Revelation chapter 12, verse 10 declare, "For the accuser of our brothers and sisters, who accuses them before our God day and night, has been hurled down." That verse is victory summarized. The accuser's voice has already been silenced in heaven. The only place he still speaks is in the minds of those who haven't learned to close the door. You have the authority to silence him, not by arguing, but by standing in truth. You overcome not by defense, but by declaration. When you speak what God says about you, lies lose oxygen. You are not what your past calls you. You are what grace names you. Forgiven, redeemed, restored. The enemy's power relies on your agreement. Without it, his accusations collapse. That's why your discernment has been growing stronger lately. You've begun to recognize his voice for what it is: recycled deception. You no longer chase validation from people because heaven already validated you through pain, perseverance, and presence. It is not arrogance to know who you are. It is alignment. You walk differently now because you understand that guilt was never your garment. It was a temporary shadow. You were always meant to wear righteousness like a robe. Every time you choose to stand in truth rather than shame, you are reminding darkness that its authority expired long ago. The voice of the accuser can sound convincing because it often uses fragments of truth twisted with lies. He points to your scars, forgetting they've been sealed. He mentions your failures, ignoring they became testimonies. He tries to resurrect what heaven already buried. But your identity is not built on what you've done. It's built on what Christ has finished. You are not standing on shaky ground. You are standing on grace solid enough to hold the world. The accusations may come, but they cannot stick. The record has been erased. You are no longer a defendant, you are an heir. The verdict is freedom. So when condemnation tries to creep in, don't entertain it. Don't negotiate with shame. Speak truth with authority. Say to your soul, I am chosen. I am cleansed. I am called. Every repetition becomes a hammer driving the nails of truth deeper into your foundation. The voice of the accuser may echo for a while, but it fades when ignored. Soon, silence returns, and in that silence, you will hear another voice, calm, gentle, holy. It says, "You are mine." That voice is the only one that matters. It does not shout, it restores. It does not condemn, it calls. Chosen one, you have passed through accusation and come out affirmed. The enemy's voice is fading now because you have learned to recognize the difference between conviction and condemnation. One leads you closer to God, the other tries to drive you away. You know the difference now, and knowing is victory. There is a kind of fire that does not destroy, it purifies. You have walked through that fire. You felt the heat of surrender, the sting of obedience, the weight of doing what's right when it would have been easier to turn away. Yet through every trial, something sacred has been burning within you. It is the fire of obedience, the flame that turns ordinary believers into living offerings. God never demanded perfection from you. He asked for surrender. Obedience has never been about blind compliance. It is about trust. It is saying, even when I don't understand, I will still follow. Every act of obedience has built an altar within you, brick by brick, choice by choice. Some of those choices were painful, letting go of relationships, dreams, and versions of yourself you thought would last forever. But through every loss, heaven was building you into someone unshakable. There were moments when obedience felt like betrayal to your own comfort. Times when you had to say no to what everyone else called success. Moments when you felt isolated because obedience led you away from the crowd. Yet that loneliness was sacred. It was God separating you for Himself. You were being refined in the quiet furnace of surrender. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 5, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding." That verse is more than instruction, it is invitation. Obedience begins when understanding ends. When God asks you to take a step that doesn't make sense, it's not to confuse you, but to crown you. Faith doesn't require sight, it requires surrender. And when you surrender, fire becomes friend instead of foe. You've learned this the hard way. You've said yes when fear screamed no. You've walked away from what was comfortable because something holy within you refused to settle. That's what obedience looks like. It's walking through uncertainty with peace. Trusting that even when the path disappears beneath your feet, the one who called you knows where it leads. Each time you obeyed, the fire inside burned hotter, not to harm you, but to make you glow. Gold glows brighter only when refined. Diamonds form under pressure. And souls like yours are purified through the flames of obedience. That's why your light feels different. It's not borrowed, it's forged. Obedience doesn't always bring applause. Sometimes it brings silence. Sometimes it costs you comfort, relationships, opportunities. But the reward is divine intimacy. When you obey, heaven draws nearer. You begin to hear God's whispers with new clarity. You start to see divine fingerprints on every detail of your life. This is the season when your obedience will speak louder than your words. You no longer need to explain yourself to those who do not understand your calling. Your actions are your testimony. The fire that once scared you now becomes your sanctuary. It no longer consumes, it consecrates. The tests you faced lately have not been punishment. They've been invitations to deeper trust. God has been asking, will you obey when it costs something? And you have answered, not perfectly, but faithfully. Heaven doesn't measure perfection. It measures surrender. There is power released when a chosen one obeys. Heaven responds. The atmosphere shifts. Angels move. When you act on divine instruction, the supernatural collides with the natural. You create space for miracles. This moment, this word is confirmation. God has seen your obedience in secret and is about to reward it openly. Every tear that fell in surrender will return as a testimony of restoration. You are about to see the fire that once frightened you become the same flame that lights your path forward. And now, to mark this holy moment, to signify your agreement with heaven's refining process, write 555 in the comments below. 5 is the number of grace, and 3 5s represent triple grace: grace for what you've endured, grace for what you're becoming, and grace for what is coming next. When you write 555, you're not typing digits, you're declaring destiny. You're saying, I trust the fire, I choose obedience, I walk in grace. Heaven records it as covenant. The same fire that once tested you will now illuminate your way. Chosen one. The flames are not against you, they are for you. Let them burn away the unnecessary, leaving only what is eternal. The gold is ready. The vessel is pure, and the promise is near. Comment 555 below to declare your trust in the refining fire. Let heaven witness your surrender. All over the world, something is stirring, an invisible movement. Quiet yet unstoppable. It's happening in living rooms, in prayer closets, in hearts that have grown tired of pretending. It's happening in the unseen, where souls begin to awaken and recognize one another by spirit, not by sight. You are part of that movement, chosen one, the gathering of the marked ones. These are not the famous, the powerful, or the popular. These are the hidden ones, refined by trials, purified by fire, and prepared in silence. They have walked through heartbreaks and deserts, and yet they still glow with compassion. They have endured the crushing and yet carry peace. They are those who never gave up, even when the world forgot them. They are heaven's quiet revolution, the ones who are rising now, not with noise, but with power. You have probably felt it without having the words for it, the sense that you are not alone. You've crossed paths with others who carry a familiar energy, a certain light in their eyes, a depth in their spirit that mirrors your own. It's because recognizes those who have been through similar fires can sense each other, even from afar, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old. Malachi chapter 3, verse 16. Then those who feared the Lord spoke with one another, and the Lord listened and heard them. A scroll of remembrance was written in his presence concerning those who feared the Lord and honored his name. That verse is unfolding again, right now. The marked ones, those who carry divine reverence, are finding one another across nations, languages, and timelines. Their conversations are not filled with gossip or greed, but with gratitude and vision. They are writing, speaking, praying, and moving with one heartbeat. Heaven is listening, recording, and remembering. You are not just part of a crowd, you are part of a remnant. A remnant is small, but powerful. It's the thread God uses to weave restoration into history. Throughout the ages, God has always reserved a remnant, a people who will not bow to idols, who refuse to compromise, who live by conviction rather than convenience. That's you. You are part of that thread, stitched into a divine tapestry that spans generations. When you wonder why you've always felt different, this is why. You weren't meant to blend in because you were meant to stand out, not for fame, but for faith. The marked ones carry the same fire, the same hunger for purity, justice, and truth. They are not united by culture or denomination, but by purpose. They hear the same call, and their spirits recognize it instantly. We are being gathered. The gathering isn't physical, it's spiritual. Heaven is aligning hearts, connecting souls who have never met yet feel an unexplainable kinship. You may never meet every member of this divine assembly on earth, but in spirit, you are already connected. Your obedience in one corner of the world strengthens another chosen one somewhere else. When you pray, your words ripple through the spiritual realm and touch lives you'll never know about. This unity is heaven's countermeasure to chaos. While the world divides, the marked ones unite. They are carriers of peace in a time of panic, voices of clarity in an age of confusion, beacons of light in a generation addicted to noise. They do not shout to be heard, they live in such a way that heaven's presence becomes visible through them. You are being gathered not for comfort, but for commissioning. The marked ones are being positioned in every sphere: education, media, government, art, and business. Each is a light strategically placed to pierce the darkness from within. God does not remove his chosen from the world. He plants them where they are needed most. The time of isolation is ending. You are not a solitary soldier. You are part of an army dressed in humility and love. You will find that where one marked one stands, miracles follow. Where two gather, strongholds crumble, and where many unite, revival ignites. So if you've been wondering why your heart feels drawn to prayer again, why you felt the urge to reach out, to forgive, to create, to speak, it's because the sound of gathering is calling you. The trumpet is not of war, but of awakening. The marked ones are rising not for personal glory, but to remind the earth that heaven still moves through human vessels. And you, chosen one, are one of them. You have found your tribe not by accident, but by alignment. Something sacred is descending upon your life now, an invisible outpouring, a divine saturation. You may not see it with your eyes, but you can feel it. The atmosphere around you is shifting. What once felt dry now begins to glisten with promise. The air itself seems thicker, heavier with presence. This is the release of anointing. Heaven is pouring out fresh oil upon the chosen, and you are standing beneath that flow. For a long time, you have lived on yesterday's grace, surviving on what once sustained you. You've prayed with faith, but sometimes the words felt hollow. You've worshipped through weariness, pressing forward even when your spirit was thirsty. Yet heaven never forgot the persistence of your faith. Every whispered prayer, every hidden act of kindness, every quiet surrender has been stored like precious oil in the jars of eternity. And now, those jars are tipping. The oil is being released. The ancient words remind us in the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 28. And afterward, I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and daughters will prophesy. Your old men will dream dreams. Your young men will see visions. This is that time. Chosen one. The promise is no longer distant. It's happening in real time. The oil of the Spirit is being poured over those who remained faithful in obscurity, those who did not abandon their post even when no one applauded. The anointing is not for the comfortable, it is for the committed. It falls on those who said yes when others said no, who kept standing when it would have been easier to sit down. You will begin to notice it manifest in subtle ways at first. Words will flow from you that seem wiser than your own understanding. Peace will linger even in chaos. Ideas will come like lightning, striking your spirit with clarity and purpose. You will sense when to move, when to wait, when to speak, when to be silent. This is not coincidence, it's coordination. Heaven is syncing your spirit with divine rhythm. Anointing is not about fame or power, it's about function. Oil was never poured to make something pretty, it was poured to make something useful. In the days of old, kings, priests, and prophets were anointed to serve, to lead, to build. When the oil touched them, it didn't just mark them, it transformed them. Ordinary men became instruments of heaven. The timid became bold. The weary became warriors. That same transformation is happening to you now. This anointing doesn't fall for performance, it falls for purpose. It finds those who have been faithful in secret, those who have prayed when no one was watching, those who have chosen purity when temptation called loudly. The oil recognizes humility. It flows through brokenness, not pride. That's why your pain didn't disqualify you, it positioned you. Cracks in your vessel made room for oil to fill. You may not feel worthy of this overflow, but worthiness was never the requirement, willingness was. God anoints those who are available. He chooses the surrendered, not the self-assured. You said yes, even when trembling, and heaven heard it as thunder. There will be a visible change in your atmosphere. People around you will notice a calm strength, a glow that cannot be explained. You'll walk into rooms and shift them without speaking a word. It's not pride, it's presence. The anointing carries authority. It's the fragrance of heaven carried on your being. But with this oil comes responsibility. The anointing must be stewarded carefully. It thrives in purity and dies in pride. Protect it with prayer, nourish it with worship, and share it through service. The oil increases as you pour it out. The more you use it to heal, to encourage, to build, the more heaven replenishes it. You are now entering a season where miracles will not surprise you, they will follow you. The oil you carry will attract divine opportunities, divine connections, and divine favor. Doors that were once locked will swing open, not because you force them, but because your oil is recognized. The anointing speaks a language that gates understand. This is not a season to strive, it's a season to flow. You don't have to chase what's meant for you. The oil will draw it in. The presence resting upon you is not temporary, it's generational. What begins with you will ripple into your family, your work, your legacy. You are walking under a fresh outpouring now. Heaven has marked you for more. This oil will not run dry. The more you give, the more you'll receive. The more you surrender, the stronger it will flow. You have waited, you have endured, and now you overflow. Before the dawn, the darkness always deepens. Before every miracle, there is a moment that tests everything inside you. You can feel it now, the tension, the weight, the invisible pushback against your spirit. Don't be alarmed. This is not the end. It's the final test before breakthrough. Every chosen one faces this crossing point, where the old world clings and the new world calls. It feels like standing between storms and sunrise. The pressure you're feeling is not punishment, it's prophecy and progress. The same way a seed must split before it sprouts. Your faith is stretching so that new life can emerge. Every tear you've shed, every unanswered question, every closed door, they've all been converging toward this moment. The shaking isn't meant to destroy you, it's meant to dislodge everything that cannot go with you into the next chapter. The prophet Isaiah once declared in Isaiah chapter 43, verse 2, "When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned." Those words are not distant comfort, they are your present truth. You have been passing through waters that should have drowned you, yet here you stand. You have walked through flames that should have scarred you, yet you are glowing with peace. You have been preserved because purpose demanded it. This is the resilience of the chosen, protected not from storms, but through them. You are closer than you think. The testing season is heaven's final proof that you are ready. What feels like opposition is actually confirmation that your elevation is near. The enemy always roars loudest right before he loses his grip. You may feel stretched, but stretching always precedes expansion. The door that felt locked is about to open, not by your force, but by divine timing. In this moment, heaven invites you to breathe. Let go of the anxiety of outcomes. Rest in the knowing that what is yours cannot be stolen, delayed, or denied. The hand of God has already gone ahead of you, preparing favor in unseen places. Even now, unseen threads are weaving together opportunities, alliances, and blessings that will surprise you. Imagine your life as a tapestry from heaven's loom. Up close, you've only seen tangled threads, knots, and dark patches. But from heaven's perspective, a masterpiece has been forming all along. Every thread of pain, every line of loss has been woven into design. Soon, you will step back and see the picture complete, and you will understand why it had to be this way. And while you stand in this sacred in-between between testing and triumph, between waiting and receiving, there is one more act of faith to stay connected to light. The light you've been receiving, hear the words, the reminders, the peace that floods your heart. This is not mere inspiration. It's oil for your spirit, and just like a lamp, it must be refilled. When you like, you're adding oil to the flame. When you share, you're carrying the light into another's darkness. When you subscribe, you're saying, keep the fire burning, keep the message alive. And if you ever feel led to give, to sow into this well that has poured into your soul, do it as worship, not transaction. What you give doesn't disappear. It circulates like rain returning to clouds. It sustains the voice that sustained you. It helps this message reach another weary heart standing on their own edge of breakthrough. Your support is more than digital. It's sacred partnership. It's how lighthouses stay lit in storms. It's how truth travels across oceans of silence to reach those who think God has forgotten them. You are part of that miracle every time you act in faith. If this message has resonated in your soul, if you felt heaven's breath move through it, let your gratitude echo in motion. Leave a comment below, share a sentence, a phrase, a reflection that came alive for you. Someone scrolling in silence might find their answer in your words. Together, we keep this current of light flowing, this river of truth alive. Chosen one, your breakthrough is closer than your breath. This final test is proof that heaven is about to unveil what it's been hiding for years. So stand firm, keep your faith steady, keep the flame alive within you and around you. Because when the dawn breaks, and it will, you won't just walk into a new season. You'll walk crowned, radiant, unstoppable. There is a trembling in the spirit realm, a holy vibration moving beneath the surface of what you can see. The air feels charged, as if heaven itself is taking a deep breath before releasing something new. You've sensed it without knowing how to explain it, this shift, this unseen momentum. You are standing in the middle of a divine transition, the kind that reorders everything. The old cycles are breaking, and the alignment you've prayed for is finally taking shape. For months, perhaps years, it has felt like you were walking in circles, progressing one step and then being pulled 2 steps back. You've asked, God, am I missing something? But what felt like delay was synchronization. Heaven has been repositioning you, ensuring that every piece fits perfectly. What you perceived as stillness was not stagnation, it was strategy. You weren't stuck. You were being staged for sudden movement. Now, that movement has begun. Heaven's order is shifting. The invisible gears of time are turning in your favor. Things that didn't make sense before will soon align like puzzle pieces falling into place. The prayers that once echoed unanswered will begin to manifest as opportunities, relationships, and revelations. You are not stepping into coincidence, you are stepping into divine orchestration. As the prophet declared in the book of Haggai, chapter 2, verse 9, "The glory of this present house will be greater than the glory of the former house, says the Lord Almighty. And in this place I will grant peace." Those words are not for ancient temples alone, they are for you. The house is your life, your calling, your very being. The coming glory will be greater than what has passed. The pain that marked your past season will pale compared to the peace and power of what is coming. You have been stripped, not to stay empty, but to be filled with something far more glorious. The shift in the spirit realm is like the changing of the tide. At first, it's quiet. The water recedes and the shore looks abandoned. But then, the waves return with greater strength, reclaiming everything the drought tried to steal. That is what's happening to you. Everything that felt lost joy, strength, direction is coming back multiplied. The tide of favor is rising again. But understand, these shifts are not gentle. When heaven moves, it shakes everything built on unstable foundations. That's why relationships have changed, why opportunities fell apart, why old desires no longer satisfy. It wasn't chaos, it was cleansing. God has been removing what cannot endure where He is taking you. What remains after the shaking is pure, strong, and ready to last. In the Spirit, doors are unlocking. You may not see them yet, but you will feel the ease of movement, the grace to advance. Where once you pushed with exhaustion, you will now glide with peace. Divine acceleration does not come from striving, it comes from alignment. When heaven shifts, you don't have to force it, you flow with it. Still, the transition may feel strange. The familiar will fade, and the unknown will stretch your faith. But this is how destiny unfolds, one obedient step at a time. You will not need to chase opportunities, they will start finding you. Favor will locate you in places you were once rejected. The very people who overlooked you will look for you again, not out of pity, but out of divine necessity. Heaven is reversing the order. Those who were last will become first. Those who sowed in tears will now reap in songs. The forgotten will be remembered. The quiet will be amplified. The faithful will be rewarded. This is the hour of reversal, when everything shifts in your favor because you refuse to quit. The weight that pressed you down will now propel you forward. The wilderness you endured will become your well of wisdom. What was once a place of survival will turn into a platform of strength. You are crossing from endurance to expansion, from promise to possession. You will walk in rooms you once prayed to enter, not as a guest, but as an answer. Your presence will carry authority because your pain taught you compassion, and your waiting taught you discernment. The shift is not coming, it's here. The sound of it is subtle but steady, like distant thunder rolling across the horizon. You are part of something larger than your imagination, a divine reordering of destinies. Everything that belongs to you is moving into position, and nothing can stand in the way of what heaven has decreed. Be still inside the movement. Trust the current. The wind that once opposed you is now pushing you forward. The shaking is not destruction, it's direction. The glory ahead will make sense of everything behind. It is quiet now, different from the silence you once feared. This stillness does not feel empty. It feels full, alive, sacred. You sense it deep in your spirit. The journey has come full circle. Every trial, every battle, every hidden season has led to this moment of divine coronation. The crown that was being shaped in secret is now being placed upon your life. The process was never about proving your worth, it was about preparing your character. Heaven crowns not those who strive, but those who endure. Look back for a moment, not with sorrow, but with awe. See how every piece fits now: the betrayals that redirected you, the waiting that refined you, the heartbreak that softened you, the isolation that taught you to listen. Nothing was wasted. Every thread of pain has been woven into purpose. You were not wandering. You were being written. This is what divine stories look like, not perfect, but purposeful. The scars you carry are not marks of defeat. They are the seal of divine authorship. God has been writing His glory into your life, line by line, chapter by chapter. And now, as one era closes and another begins, heaven declares completion. The crown rests, not as decoration, but as declaration, proof that what tried to destroy you only refined you. The word of the Lord echoes from the second book of Samuel, chapter 22, verse 40. You armed me with strength for battle, you humbled my adversaries before me. That scripture breathes your story. You were armed long before the battle began. You did not realize it then, but heaven had already equipped you with endurance, with faith, with vision. The storms that came to break you only revealed what was already inside you. You learned that true strength is not loud, it's steady. It doesn't demand attention, it survives when everything else collapses. The crown you now wear is invisible to some, but undeniable in the spirit. It is the weight of wisdom, the radiance of resilience, the authority of compassion. You have been entrusted with influence not to rule over others, but to lift them. The greatest crowns are carried in service, not superiority. You are now a bearer of light, a carrier of hope, and as heaven anoints you for this next chapter, you will feel something new rising in you, a calm power, a grounded confidence. The same humility that kept you through hardship will guide you in victory. You will walk differently, not because you are greater than others, but because you have learned that greatness is measured by grace. The coronation of the chosen is not about glitter or applause, it is about recognition. Heaven recognizes what you've become, a vessel of integrity, courage, and love. You have passed through fire and not been consumed. You have wrestled with doubt and still chosen faith. You have faced loss and still chosen love. And for that, heaven calls you victorious. From this day forward, you will see evidence of divine restoration. What was delayed will be delivered. What was hidden will be revealed. The promises spoken long ago will begin to bloom, not suddenly, but steadily, like dawn breaking over the horizon. You won't have to chase blessings anymore, they will begin to chase you. Favor follows those who have proven faithful. But even as glory unfolds, remember what sustained you: the quiet moments with God, the whispered prayers, the unseen acts of obedience. These will keep your crown steady. The crown is not the end of the journey. It's the beginning of responsibility. You are not finished, you are commissioned. You will now walk as a reminder to others that survival is not the goal, transformation is. Your story is no longer one of endurance alone. It is one of emergence. You have become light shaped like a person, hope shaped like a heartbeat, Everywhere you go, the atmosphere will shift, not because of who you are, but because of who you carry. The spirit that sustained you in sorrow will now shine through you in strength. So breathe, chosen one. You made it through the shadows into sunrise. The ashes beneath your feet have turned into gold dust. The waiting has turned into walking. The tears have turned into testimony. You are crowned now not by human hands, but by divine decree. The heavens have spoken your name with honor. You are living proof that glory always follows surrender, that love always outlasts loss, that purpose always prevails. Rise crowned and radiant, walk into your destiny. The story heaven began in pain now ends in power. And now, beloved chosen one, the message has been delivered, the circle complete. Heaven's words have found you not by chance, but by divine design. You have walked through fire, through silence, through revelation, and emerged crowned with clarity and peace. The story that began in pain now glows with purpose. But this isn't an ending, it's an awakening. Each time you return to this space, you're stepping into a current of light that keeps flowing. Let it keep flowing. Keep the fire alive, not only in your heart but in the world around you. When you like this message, you affirm what heaven has spoken. When you share, you become a messenger yourself. Someone's miracle may travel through your hands. When you comment, you build connection. Your words may be the very confirmation another soul has prayed for. And when you subscribe, you stay tethered to this divine frequency, returning whenever your spirit needs strength, peace, or direction. This isn't about algorithms, it's about alignment. Keep the flame burning. Let's continue to build this sanctuary of light together, where every word heals, every click echoes love, and every heart remembers the chosen never walk alone.